I want you, we can bring it on the floor. We never danced like this before. Shouldn't talk about it. Dancing on to the boogie all night long. Stoned in paradise. Shouldn't talk about it. I want you, we can bring it on the floor. Never danced like this before. Shouldn't talk about it. Dancing on to the boogie all night long. Stoned in paradise. Shouldn't talk about it. Shouldn't talk about it.
What's up, guys? I'm Evan Ackley. I'm 19 years old. I'm a sophomore here at Sam State University. I am proud to call myself a musician. As of right now, I'm a solo artist. My New Year's resolution this year was to get in a band with a bunch of people, but so far that hasn't been a thing yet. So I'm focusing on building my foundation as a solo artist in order to maybe one day find a couple other guys and get together and make a band. I started, 3 years ago, I guess. It seems like a long time now that I look at it, but I started singing and playing guitar basically at the same time. I auditioned for a musical in high school, and it was for The Wiz. It was like a bluesy version of The Wizard of Oz. And my teacher, Mr. Marks at the time, my course teacher, was saying, he's like, Evan, you know, you should really audition for the part of the Tin Man. And I was absolutely frightened. I've never performed. I'd never been on stage before. And this was something really new to me. And so when I tried it, I auditioned for it, I got the part. And I was one of the only underclassmen that year who got a lead role. And from then, I just had so much fun with it. I'm a very big believer of YouTube. Huge believer in YouTube. Nowadays, the entertainment business has gotten so visual, and so we need, as a society, we really need that extra visual added to the music to, you know, really sell us to the music, which is kind of sad. But I record videos sometimes, and I'll throw them up on YouTube, and then whenever I can, I play live performances at open mics or on the radio. I took lessons for maybe a month, and I learned like some super basic chords, and after a while I thought, okay, I'm not really learning as much as I want to, so I took matters into my own hands, no pun intended. My favorite artist is Chad Stokes, lead singer of State Radio, lead singer of Dispatch. He has a way with his words, and the way that he enunciates them every single time he sings them. He always sings it differently. He always has like this crazy energy to himself. I've learned so much. Primarily, I'm fucking awkward as shit. I'm so awkward. But it's, you know, I don't know. It's hard to get my thoughts into words, but it's easy for me to write them down and just sing them.
I was working for our alternative station out in Las Vegas. You know, I kind of stumbled into radio. I've always been fascinated by radio from a very young age. And then it wasn't until my senior year of high school, months after they launched this station, they put out an ad in the trade magazines for on-air talent, and I decided to send my stuff in. It was kind of awkward because I was working for an alternative station and I hadn't done Top 40 before. But I sent it off, and the program director loved my stuff, called me back the next day, and it took a few months, but next thing you know, I was out in Boston. I started doing radio my senior year of high school, so I never actually went to college. My first station is called KW3. It's in a small town where I'm from, Wenatchee, Washington. After that, I moved to Denver and worked for a station called Alice 105.9, which is kind of like the mix station here in Boston. And then I worked at a rock station in Milwaukee called Laser 103. And then I was in Vegas working for a station called X1075, which is an alternative station. And then my latest station is this one. It's actually kind of fun. The novelty wears off after a while because at the end of the day you're working. But there's something special about being backstage and sitting down in one of the dressing rooms with an artist and asking them pretty much any question you want, and then getting up on stage in front of people and announcing the band is a lot of fun too. It's a rush to get up in front of thousands of people like that. I've never really been one to be starstruck. It is. You know, it is, I don't want to just call it a job because it's so much more than that. One of my favorite bands in the world is Linkin Park, and I had the opportunity to meet them when I was living in Milwaukee. That's probably the closest I've ever come to a fangirl moment or being starstruck, just because I've been watching that band since they first got started. Another band that I really love is Rise Against. They're absolutely incredible guys, super down to earth and really chill. So it was fun being able to meet them and talk to them. And when I say talk to them, not even in an interviewing sense, you're just chatting about whatever happens to come up, like you're talking to a friend or someone you just met. It's really kind of cool. A lot of times the way it works with these artists is everything's handled through their management and the record labels. And, you know, we come in, it's not like we exchange any personal information. I don't get their phone number. I don't give them my phone number. We don't really, you know, sit down and follow each other on Facebook or anything like that. You start to see them repeatedly through the years. I mean, you interview these artists definitely more than once. And as you interview them more and more, they start to recognize you. And it's kind of fun to be remembered in that sense. But these guys meet so many people. They're shuffled in and out of these interviews, in and out of these radio stations, in and out of these meet and greets. And they shake hands and take pictures with so many people. It's really not expected for them to really remember you so much on a personal level. The hardest thing about being a DJ, not being able to make everyone happy. It's really impossible. A lot of the tickets that we get are for promotion uses only from the record labels or the different concert venues. Technically, we're under contract, and the rules are pretty strict where we have to give out all of these tickets to listeners as radio promotion. You know, every once in a while, there'll be, like, the record label will pony up tickets. But, like I'm the night guy. I have to work every night. All these, like, tonight we have Usher, and Breezy is out there with his girlfriend posting pictures all over social media. And I'm like, damn, I would really like to be there, but I can't. I've got to work. You have to really want it. Once you get your foot in the door, you're not going to make very good money at all, but you have to just keep with it. And getting your foot in the door is one of the most difficult things to do. But once you do get your foot in the door, show ambition and just charge at it with full speed. And eventually something will pay off. Be in the right place at the right time. Be the guy or the girl that they call when they need something. And opportunities will present themselves to you.
Keyword commercials. 103.3 AM radio. I'm Slater. I'd just like to say Alexa at Salem State University is the nicest person I've talked to tonight. She is amazing. She spent like 10 minutes on the phone with me. It was so cool.
I went to Emerson College, and Emerson has a program that brings all their students out to LA for their final semester. I wanted to be a writer, and I wanted to be a filmmaker, and I wanted to be an actor, and I wanted to be everything, but it made it really easy to have like a huge support system. I went for film. I have a degree in film and visual media arts. When I was at school, I found that like I was best at writing, and I was best at like sketch comedy, and I was best at like performing, and I just kind of put all my energy into that. I'm exclusively a comedy writer. I love horror movies, but I don't think that I have the seriousness to write an actual horror movie. Every horror movie I've written is a horror comedy. Okay, so there's a couple hard parts. One is like, you really have to know what you want. You have to know how to do what you're doing. Filmmaking is a team effort, but the director has to have the vision for all of that stuff, and if he doesn't, like, people he's working with lose respect. This is the advice I got in college, and I think it's really good advice. But don't do it if you could do anything else, is what I was told. And I kind of believe that. Like, if you can see yourself working in a laboratory or in a warehouse or driving a truck or something, do that. Because this isn't the most glamorous thing, but also, like, do it if you are going to do it. Keep struggling and keep trying, because it's just it's worth it. And you know, creativity is a valve that you need to open. Believe in yourself and do it, and keep doing it, and keep being creative. I think that there's too many of us. There's too many people trying to be artists. I don't necessarily believe in the money involved in the entertainment industry. Like, they don't want to, like, invest in art. And I wish more people would invest in art. I think there's a lot of worry about bottom dollar and money in this industry, and I think that money and art don't go hand in hand. Okay, I think that it's a forever game. I think that's what I call it. Like, you have to just view it for forever, because it can be never, but it could be always. So, like, it could be tomorrow. Like, there's no rhyme or reason. Like, you just have to be trying forever. And I think that that's, like, there's just no end in sight. Trey Parker, the guy who did South Park, got South Park when he was 30. Once upon a time, 30 was really young. And, to be making it in the entertainment industry. And then, like, you know, Seth MacFarlane got Family Guy when he was 21, and, like, you know, now there's, like, you know, there's all these, like, YouTube 22-year-old filmmakers making, like, movies for Hollywood, and the market's different. The cooler you are, the more people are going to want to work with you and want to help you out. You know, some of my best friends write on TV right now, and two of my good friends from college, like, are the biggest deal in the world. They just won a VMA for they directed the music video for Turn Down for What, and then they're in the Sundance lab right now, and they're getting their movie produced through Sundance, and, like, those guys are gonna, like, be a fucking huge deal in 2 years.
I started in casting about 30 years ago. I was pretty young, 25, and I was an actress, and I wasn't getting a lot of work because of my Boston accent. So I decided to go and work for a casting agency because I knew that's where the work was. And I wanted to be on the inside of where the work was. So I did that for a while, and then became really valuable in the casting office, and they didn't want to send me out anymore on, you know, auditions, because they wanted me to work on the job. And I just evolved where I decided that I really loved the business, and I was making a good living in the business, on the business, not being an actress chasing the business. I got a little tired of chasing the business when I turned 30, I opened my own agency, so we're in business almost 25 years now. I went to Suffolk for a little bit, and yeah, college wasn't a thing for me for some reason. It was really expensive, and I was trying to do it all on my own. I read every business book that I could get my hands on. So I did educate myself. I just didn't have the time and the resources to go to a formal college, but I can tell you just about everything about business, because I always looked at my business as a business. It wasn't about the movies. It wasn't about the celebrities. It was about making money, and it was about building a business. And how do I get my name out there? And what's my mission statement? And what is this company built on? How do I want my employees to act? And it was built like that, piece by piece. I did it all on my own with waitress tips, just about. And then 5 years in, I took in a partner. And she's been really terrific. Well, in 2014, we just finished Ted 2. We just finished The Finest Hours with Chris Pine. Yes, we did. I'll be nominated for an Artios Award for that film in January in Los Angeles. I've been nominated in the past for The Fighter. I've been nominated for Casting Excellence in The Proposal, and I've also been nominated for Ted 1. Amazing. He's coming back. He'll be here in January. We're doing a new movie with him. He is a creative genius. He drives me really hard because he has certain characters in his head. It's so wonderful because David changed the game for everybody, I feel, in Hollywood. And then it trickles down to us, where it wasn't just like these handsome actors. He finally gave these character actors really, really meaty roles. He sees the value in character people, that they're just real character actors. So it's really exciting to be able to finally bring in actors I've had on file for quite a long time, and I've never really had a good fit for them. Crazy, exciting. It's many things. There's many facets to it. It just doesn't stop, though. It's hard work. People think it's really fun and done, and my career is done. My name will still be attached to these films that are, legendary films. The fact that Mark Wahlberg knows my name, that David O. Russell calls me, that I've only met Tom Cruise, Cameron Diaz, and Mel Gibson, but I did meet them, so that part's pretty cool. Yesterday, I didn't meet him, but I saw Miles Teller, who's like the hottest young actor in Hollywood right now. Theater. If you have the chance to really work some monologues and get in a theater and really stretch as an actor, well, three things. So if you can't become a theater actor and you can't get involved in a community theater and kind of be part of a troupe, then at least take some really good acting classes where you could do some really serious monologues and have a really good acting teacher stretch you. Or do some film work, some student film work.
The first actual runway show that I did was in front of at least 600 people, and I was in really high heels, and it was terrifying, and I didn't fall, but it was very surreal, and it's weird to have people watching you like that. It's pretty scary, because there's a lot of pressure on you, but it's pretty cool to be able to represent the designer. It's cool. Well, a lot of girls, if they're naturally skinny, they can't really defend themselves, because I, for the most part, I hate to say it, but mostly naturally skinny, and I work out, I eat really healthy, but I definitely am really good about not letting the whole industry get to me, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of girls that struggle with, eating disorders, all of that, but I make sure to not let it get to me at all. And a lot of girls struggle with it, and the industry can be really hard on people, and it's a real problem, But I think that people, if you're naturally a little bit bigger, you cannot change that. Like, there's no reason, So you have to be beautiful, like how you are. Right now in the industry, like size 8 or above, which is crazy to me. So I think it's crazy that the plus size in the industry is the normal size of everyone. But there are a lot of clients and designers that are starting to realize that no matter what your size is, you can be gorgeous. Getting your name out there, that's definitely what it's about, because there's, everyone's trying to be famous or trying to be a model or actor, and it's, people will do anything to get their name out, but I don't know, if it's meant to be, it'll happen naturally, I guess, and that's definitely a big deal in my career. It's why I'm working so hard for the past years in Boston, because it can be difficult, but it's definitely worth it if it's meant to be. It's the best reward, It was crazy. That ad was for the New England School of Photography, and we shot it last year, but it's actually in a few cities in America. It's in Chicago and San Francisco and Boston. So it's been out and it's used online, and it's really weird. My friends will text me, "Hey, I just saw you," and like from Chicago or San Francisco, they'll text me, and they'll just send the picture, and I'll be like, oh, that's crazy, because it barely even looks like me, you know? It's crazy.
I always thought that it'd be so simple, but I found a way, I found a way. I always thought that it'd be too crazy, but I found a way, I found a way. If you open up your mind and see what's inside, it's gonna take some time to realize. But if you look inside, I'm sure you'll find, yeah. Over your shoulder, you know that I told you I'd always be picking you up when you're down.